Welcome, everybody. The 2023 NFL Draft is over, which means it's time to look at some NFL Draft Grades. I'm Joe with the Game House, and today we're going to be going over NFC South Draft Grades. The NFC South is up today in our NFL Draft Grade series. We're going through each division, so make sure you check out all the other divisions as we go through them. Let's get it started with the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to start it off with them and their first pick, Bijan Robinson. Love the pick for them. They did have the number 3 rushing attack last year without him, but he is one of the blue chip players in this draft class, and I don't think you can really blame him for selecting him here at their pick. They've spent a lot of money on the defensive side of the ball in free agency, and now they're afforded that opportunity to go get this star running back, and this is going to help Desmond Ridder, young quarterback who maybe has a tough time adjusting. What's the way to help him? You have a good running game. You have Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts. And now you add Bijan Robinson, who can catch the ball out of the backfield and can also provide that running game to take the pressure off Desmond Ridder. Matthew Bergeron, the offensive tackle from Syracuse, he may move inside to guard. I think there's some versatility there with him where they can play multiple positions based on what they need. I think it's good to get the offensive line a little bit younger there. And then edge Zach Harrison out of Ohio State. I think Ohio State fans would agree. Maybe a guy who hasn't lived up to what his athletic traits and build would maybe allow. But with the Falcons, maybe they can get the most out of him there. So not a bad pick there as well. And then Clark Phillips, a corner out of Utah, one of my favorite players in the class. I was much higher on him than consensus. Obviously, the Falcons got him a little bit later in the draft here. Very good corner. I think he can move into the slot if you need him there. I think he can play outside too. Very good man cover corner and also has good ball skills. DeMarco Hellams out of Alabama as well. We're not going to go through every pick here as we go through the teams, but I like that pick as well. I think they did a really good job this offseason overall of getting the defense ready and then getting the offensive firepower a little bit more here with Bijan Robinson. Gave the draft a B+ for them. When you get a chance to get one of the best players in the draft, but also improve the offensive line and a lot of that defense, I think it's really good. I love their draft. We'll see how it pans out, but now it's just about the Falcons finding out whether Desmond Ridder is their quarterback of the future. And if he is, then it's good you keep on building on that. If he's not, then maybe you take a quarterback next year. Carolina Panthers are up next. They took Bryce Young with the first overall pick. They traded up to get him. It gave up DJ Moore in the process. Didn't like giving up DJ Moore, but at the end of the day, they had to get a quarterback. They went and got their guy. There are some concerns about Bryce Young's size. I agree with them. I think that is something we have to figure out. And not just that he's 5'10", but that just such a slight build, I think, could play a factor in his longevity. Jonathan Mingo was drafted entirely too early for my liking. Outside receiver at Ole Miss. Did not have the best season last year. You can maybe even ask Ole Miss fans. They probably agree with that. Maybe him going a little bit too early. DJ Johnson, Chandler Zavala, and Jamie Robinson out of Florida State. Love Chandler Zavala for NC State fitting next to his former teammate Ikem Ekwonu. And Jamie Robinson I like more than a lot of people did as well because I thought he could just do a bunch of different things on that defense. So I had higher value on him than even the Panthers did, probably where they got him at least. I think he could be a guy who turns out well. Didn't like some of the middle round picks with Jonathan Mingo and DJ Johnson, but I think Bryce Young and you got the back 2 picks. I think that's a really good draft for this franchise. And now it's just all up to Bryce Young. We'll see if he pans out for him. The New Orleans Saints, when they were up with this draft, they took Brian Brzee, the defensive lineman out of Clemson. Like him as a player, and I think he fell a little bit on some draft boards because he had a bad last year in college. But there was a lot of things going on with his own life and his family life that probably played into that. Isaiah Foskey out of Notre Dame. Good edge rusher, maybe a little bit streaky, but really has an knack for forcing fumbles as an edge rusher as well. So I think that could be a good thing. They like those big, strong edge rushers down in New Orleans. Kendre Miller, the running back out of TCU, I think plays a big part of being drafted here is that he may fill in for Alvin Kamara, who maybe could be suspended. I guess we'll find out here soon. And they did sign Jamal Williams. So getting another running back there is not a bad idea. Nick Saldivari out of Old Dominion. Really like this player. I think he was like top 100 on my board, right around 100. I think it was good to get him at the range they did. Should play tackle for them, be a rotational guy to start, maybe move in to the starting lineup later in his career. And then Jake Haener, the quarterback out of Fresno State, was, I believe, my quarterback 6 on the year, and they got him pretty late. And this is, down the road, you see how he develops, and you do have Derek Carr, you do have Jameis Winston, but see how he develops down the line. I think he seems like he's more of a gamer and had some really good games against some Pac-12 teams when Fresno State went up against them. So I think there's some potential to unlock there as well. A.T. Perry's the last one I'm going to talk about for the Saints. A bigger guy, he's got some speed too. Kind of disappeared at times, so you kind of want to see him be more consistent, but I think he could be a good value pick here for the Saints. They do have a pretty deep wide receiver room now that Chris Olave is there and Michael Thomas is coming back. We'll see how that works out. But he may be able to find himself on the back end of the roster there. So B- draft for the Saints. I think they could have addressed different needs early on, but they did get a lot of good players. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we have Kalijah Cansey, the defensive lineman out of Pittsburgh. A little bit undersized, but he can move very, very well. I'm kind of interested in why they went for the defensive lineman there, but at the end of the day, he's a good player. Cody Mauch, the interior offensive lineman out of North Dakota State. He actually played tackle, but I think he moves inside for Tampa Bay. They don't know. I guess they're going to put Tristan Wirfs at left tackle, so they don't know who right tackle is. Maybe he plays right tackle, maybe moves inside. That's I guess remains to be seen there. And then I didn't really like the rest of the draft for the Buccaneers. Servosier Dennis, I think, was taken too early. Josh Hayes, a little bit too early. Trey Palmer was fine, and Jose Ramirez was fine. But at that rate, that late in the draft, you just you take what you can get there. I like the draft for them, though, a B, because they get Kalijah Cansey and they get Cody Mauch, and that's what it should be about. The first 2 rounds should be weighted more heavily than the latter rounds. Did a very good job. I don't know what this means for their season. We're moving on to Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. We'll see how they do, but they did get at least a couple good players here in this draft, so a B for them. All right, those are the NFC South draft grades. Make sure to check out our other videos for the other divisions. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.